Hello everyone and welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington, USA. Not to be confused with Vancouver, Canada. Have some dear friends there, but we're not in that location, 400 miles south. So today we're going to be working with Penguin Place and making a Christmas card, of course, since we are in our 25 days of Christmas. In the description bar below, you will find all the product I used, all the dimensions for this card. You'll find my email address. You will find a link to my online store. If you don't currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. If you have questions, please send me an email. I'm always open to suggestions. If you have something you'd like to see demonstrated, I'm still open to that, so please send that along. There's also a link to my Facebook group if you're interested in joining that. Let's see. Oh yes, don't remember to subscribe and like and share. It helps me out in YouTube world. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what we're going to make, but I'm going to try to turn this light. I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to hold this up so it doesn't have a glare. Some of you may notice that some of the sets have little tags on them and stuff. I borrowed this particular set from one of my best friends. She also happens to be my upline. I have known her for, I don't know, 40 years maybe, a long time. So just put that out so you can see when you see something like that, you know it's not mine. You can usually tell mine products because they have something that looks like that on them. So everybody has their own way. So we're going to be using Penguin Place, really cute set, and the punch. And we're going to show you exactly what we're going to make. We are going to make a tower pinwheel card. So it looks like a pinwheel. And it just goes on and on. So we have him, the little penguin, sitting here. And I'm going to show you the technique for doing this. Look here. And then we're going to do some trees. And he's sitting guarding his presents. This just says season greeting, a little place to write a little message. And this says, I like you a lotta. And he's skiing down a slope. So I'm going to show you how we make this cute little card. It stands up like this. It does fit into a standard envelope, which, where is his envelope? Oh, there he is. I don't know if you can see it. It's very faint. I'll try to hold it up. It has little snowflakes. It's pool party. Now this paper pack, like I said in the past, I use old paper to do my, demos and stuff, what I'm going to be doing. This was the snowflake, I don't remember what it's called, snowflake paper from a few years ago. But today, we're not going to be using that set. We are going to be using the paper from Storybook Gnomes. And this is Pool Party, and our base is going to be Balmy Blue. So, let's move on with the card. Let's get out some product here. Now I did stamp, and I will show you what I stamped and tell you about the colors I used. I did a few extra. I stamped a bunch of presents. These are Gorgeous Grape, Real Red, and Shaded Spruce. And I cut out the presents I needed. They just fussy cut them. They're very easy to fussy cut. There should be another one here. We'll just side those aside. And then I did out of, let's see what color this was. Orchid Oasis, I stamped a little stocking cap and a little scarf for one of our penguins, and I gave him some feet here. So we'd have some feet. And I think I'm missing some feet, but we'll have to do those feet together because I only stepped one set of feet and I need two. So we'll do those in a bit, and I'll show you how to do that. And those were out of pumpkin pie. So I'm going to set the pieces we don't need. Oh, that's because I already built one. This is one of our penguins we're going to be using. I'm going to show you how to build one of the penguins, and this one I went ahead and did first. And you build this with the Builder punch. And the feet cut out, the body cuts out, and the interior and exterior of the body. So that leaves you just stamping of his nose, his bow tie, and his eyes. And we will work on that together. And these are the parts to cut out our penguin. And then we have 4 panels. Let me get this so I can read this to you. These are 4 panels of Balmy Blue, and they are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And these are, this is out of the gnome paper, but we're going to be using the snowflake side. And this is, there's 4 of these. They're 1 1/2 by 4. And then we need 4 panels of white card that are 2 1/2 by 4. And I have a couple extra here because I was working on several of these cards. Of course, our envelope. And we have our paper here. And this paper is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. I can't even talk this morning. I need another sip of coffee. Now, you may have seen this technique before. I know a lot of people do this technique and they use cardstock for the center. I like to use DSP for the center. Our DSP is strong enough to hold the center of this, but it really cuts down on the bulk in the center of the card when you get ready to mail it. So that's why I like to use the DSP. Now, if I'm going to hand carry this card, because I made some rather large ones, and I may make one here still this season. So, you know, we'll go from there. But we're going to score the only thing that needs scored first. And on the, now, we want this pattern, snow, to be on the inside of our box. This is going to be the piece we're going to cover all up, okay? So this is the outside of our box. So with the outside panel up there, we want the 4 1/2 inch side. And we are going to score this at, oh, wrong side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just disregard those. Those are for another project we're going to be doing in a few days. I just left them there when I was done designing it. So then we're going to take our bone folder and fold these. And you do need to make sure that when you do this, that all your paper is straight. Just like that. Now, I like to take a little snip. Just like when you make some other boxes and stuff, I just like to take just ever so slightly off this tab. Because sometimes when you put the box or the tower together, you can see the top of it. And I've hidden my garbage can from it. We'll move it. So this will go together like this. Oh, I did it backwards. We've got to fold it the other way. Sorry about that. If you fold it the wrong way, just fold it the other way. Because I want the snowflakes. As you can see in here, you can see the inside panel. And I wanted the snowflakes to be on the inside. So it's going to go like that. And we are going to go ahead and I'm going to use tear and tape on this. Just run nice. And I'm keeping it pretty close to the fold line. You can use seal or whatever you like on this. This is just what I chose to do. And then just fold this over like this. I like to go both ways to make sure. So we have our tower. So next we're going to go ahead, and I like to build each of my panels up before I stick them on to a certain extent. So we're going to start by building the panels. Now you could stick the panels, start sticking the panels on, but I like to build my scenes first. So the first scene we're going to work on is pretty simple. We're going to do the season's greeting. So we're going to need Balmy Blue and a sheet of our white paper. And I'm going to grab a Stampin' Pad here because this is their photopolymer. And I just grabbed the little snowflake from there. And I've also grabbed I Like You a Lotta. I thought that was very cute. And I'm going to stamp I Like You a Lotta first in the middle of this. Oh, never mind what I'm saying. I'm grabbing the wrong stamp. I told you, I'm not awake yet. It's early. We're going to stamp in the middle of this season's greeting, and we're going to do it with Memento. I'm just going to put it right in the middle. There's not going to be a lot of stamping on this one, this panel, because this is the panel that we've got for writing. You know, say who you're writing it to, who it's from, you know, that kind of thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of Balmy Blue here and stamp a little bit across the top. And I'm just going to put ever so slightly, just a few, I haven't turned it on its side here, across the bottom. So that's one of our panels now. The next panel we're going to make is with our lovely penguin who's sliding down the hill. Now, we're going to talk about this hill. In the thing is this lovely snake. When you take it out of the box, it stretches straight, it goes, you know, whatever. You need to put it on the mat and let it sit and relax for a second. Just about like that, not very long. And then take your block to it. It will hold up much better, okay? So we're gonna grab another mat. We're gonna also do this in Balmy Blue. Now I gotta decide where I want my heel, you know, what kind of slope I want him on. Oh, let's put him on a slope about like that. Not too much. So we really only need to stamp right in the center of this. And we'll put him about like that. And that's our heel for him to slide down. And then, can't leave it white, it's just too boring. I just grabbed a sponge dauber. You could use your bending brushes, you could use the sponges, whichever you'd like. This one I just go off a little bit here. I'm just going to lightly put a little bit of Balmy Blue in here. So just, and not total, just a little bit. We just, very faint. So he's like that. And then we want to stamp this one with I Like You a Lotta. This is the one I was looking at. So we're going to put that right about here. Now we're going to set this aside for a second. The penguin, we're going to stamp him. We're going to stamp him right here. I tried to do it freehand. I do not have enough strength in my hands to get the darkness I wanted for the penguin. He looked rather blotchy. So you can try to do this freehand, but I'm bringing in my Stamparatus just because it's easier for me. And I wanted him nice and dark. So I'm going to be sitting here waiting for us to line up. Grab my paper. I usually find a position that I'm happy with, usually, you know, an inch or so on my grid. Now this is just a piece of grid paper I cut. My regular mat's underneath. I know there is the newer one, I don't have it. And then I'm going to set my penguin on the hill so I know exactly where he's at. Then I'm going to grab this. Now the paper has a tendency to pop up when you first start. That's why I said know where your grid line is so you can get him right back where you had him. And we're going to use some Memento. Like I said, you could freehand him, but I wanted him dark because my other ones were stamped out of, punched out of black paper. And I didn't want him to be an anemic. Oh, I'm off. I started to do this and realized that I am off a little bit. So hang on here. Now I'm too high. It slid more than I thought it did. Well, and I got black ink all over with my hand. going to show you a different way to do this one. Sorry about that. We're going to put him back in here. About the same location. I'm not letting it touch because I know that it's got ink all over it and I don't want to clean it. You can line up your bird where you want him. I'm having all kinds of problems today, Madam Klutz. You can line up your bird first and then put your blue in, and that's what we're going to do because I messed up the first one. See how pale he is. Boy, I'm having I just got black ink all over the case of the Balmy Blue. I'm having one of those days. And I didn't bring my tennis ball out here, but I'll give him one more. There he goes. Nice and dark. Pull him out. We'll just close him up and I will come back and clean him later. And you will have to forgive me for one moment because I literally did get black ink all over the Balmy Blue ink case. If I try to open it right now, got it all over it, I'm going to have a mess. So, and I do need to open it. So, sorry about that. Like I said, I don't edit my videos, so if you see me make a mistake, you're going to see what happens. So, we'll do it this way. We'll bring our little thing back. Now we'll have to find out where his slope is. About like that. Grab our Balmy Blue. We'll line him up right like that. Pretty good. Either way works. And then we'll get our blender. And we'll put a little blue in here for him without a big black fingerprint in the middle of it. And then we'll grab our saying again. Turn it around so it's the right way. And back to our snowflakes, as he's out sledding. I'm just turning this every which way so that, you know, the snowflakes are going different directions. 'Cause I don't want it all looking the same. And what about there? So, I want one more right here. So, there he is. Now, he is missing something. He is missing a nose. So, we're going to get some pumpkin pie out. And there is the tiniest little nose. There's actually two noses. And I know you're not going to be able to see this, but you can tell when you look at the nose, there's one that has like a V inside of it, and that's the one for the front view. And this has a little mark coming this way, for a side view. And you're going to line him up and put his little beak on. There we go. And I'll hold that up so you can see it. And there's panel 2. Okay, panel 3 and 4, we are going to do an inking technique with our embossing folders. And no, the embossing folders don't come in this. I just keep them in. These are the Wintry 3D embossing folders. They are from the annual catalog. And there's one with snowflakes and one with pine. So we're going to do both of those. So I'm going to grab one of our cards. Set this aside. We're going to be using Shaded Spruce and Balmy Blue. So we need a little cranky to help us with this part. I'm going to kick a few things even further back because we are going to ink this. Now I'm also going to grab a piece of scratch paper here. On the side, this says Stamping Up. This one we're going to do Balmy Blue. You just take the ink pad directly to it. Don't rub, just blot. That should be enough. Then we're going to take one of our little cards. This one we're going to run the whole thing through. Set it down very gently. And then we need this one. We need our base plate, number 1, and we need number 4, which is for 3D embossing folders. So you're going to sandwich the two in between. Try to always run your embossing folder through with the closed side. Get my hands on here. So if you open this up, and we'll gently take that out, and I'll show you that in just a second. I'm going to close this up, and I have a nice stack of paper towels here. I usually do this by the kitchen sink in the kitchen, so that way I can just rinse them off directly. But that doesn't work when I'm filming, so, but you might use that idea. But then our base looks like that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now we need one more base, and this one is going to be with Shaded Spruce and the Pine. Now, on my pine, I only want the pine to come down about 2/3 of the way. So the same principle goes. We're going to stamp ink on this one, but we don't even have to go all the way up. We only have to do about that far. And then we're going to set the card in where we want it. Close that, grab our 2 plates. 1 and 4. And run it through. Now, if you're mass producing this, you do each section separately, and it goes rather quickly. Oop, it fell out, and I don't want it. There we go. So we'll put this one in folded paper towel for now, so it can be washed. And here is our snowy scene. We're going to come back to that one in just a minute. We're done with a little cranky for the moment. So, we know we have this one ready, and we have to finish the outside of this one. And I want him to look like he's sitting in a bunch of snow. I'm going to put a little bit of blue on this. I'm going to run it right up to the green. And once again, we're not doing tons. I don't need it perfect. I just want it sort of wispy in there. About like that. Now it's time to decorate these. So let's go to, we'll do this one first since I have it out. I already built this one, so we're going to go and place him, then I will show you how to build the snowman. So I have 3 packages I made. You don't need it on the mat to build it. So we have him here, and then we have 3 packages. So we're going to build a seat because he's guarding the packages so no one can get to the packages. So I started with one at the bottom, and I put one here, and one right here on the other side, like that. Let's find some glue. But you can rearrange the packages any way you want. Just a tad of glue. You can put more packages, less packages. You can put just one package. Like that, and then we're going to hook him on now. So I just sort of sitting there on the packages by the tree. This is the tree behind him, and he's guarding those so no one else can get packages. Now this one, we have to build the penguin. I promise we're about ready to, while I'm thinking about it, we're going to grab this really quick before I set the Balmy Blue ink away. I'm going to grab the envelope and put a few snowflakes in the center. Okay, so let me grab the punch. And you know what? I just realized I did not grab his eyes. So I'll have to show you. So on the punch, this one cuts the white piece for his body. This is the black piece of his body. And these are his little feet right here. You just take a piece of, whatever color you're using. Pumpkin, I think, is perfect. And just, right into that little piece. I have some little strips I had, and I just shoved them in there, and they worked just fine. So we're going to punch out one of the bodies. There's one body. And we're going to punch the other part of the body. I'll just kick it out the rest of the stuff here. So we have this. And this is going to go on here. I'm getting some extra pieces picked up. Alrighty. Now you can stamp him once you've got it on here or not. I'm going to do it once I have him on here. So I think it's just easier to line up his eyes, which I failed to get out of the box. So we'll have to do that right now. His eyes, they're right there. There's two little eyes, and they're connected. So let me grab this block here. That's we're done with it. And the same as the other, I try to put it down on the mat and let it sit for just a second. Because it is a shorter length, but it will still move. And we're going to put his eyes in with Memento. And just sort of line them up right in the top here. It's pretty easy. And then we need his nose, which again I'm doing with pumpkin. And boy, I didn't grab the right nose either. Remember I said there's two noses. There's also feet in here if you wanted to stamp feet as well. You can see the difference in the noses here. So this nose, you can see the little thing that comes this way on it versus the other one. Okay, and then I got his little feet here. I made him a little hat and a scarf. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's go ahead and put his feet on first. Now you can use glue, you can use glue dots. Doesn't take much. There's his little feet. This is his little Orchid Oasis hat. like that. And then a little scarf. I think he's rather cute. Young penguin waiting for Christmas morning. And then I'm going to glue him. And you notice I'm not using dimensionals on the inside of this. The card has a lot of bulk, and I don't like paying extra postage at Christmas. You know, if it's for somebody really, really special, I might sometimes, but most of the time I try to keep things under that 1/4 inch so I don't have to. Now the card I did last Friday, no, 2 Fridays ago, the layered card, that definitely is one you want to hand carry because it will get quite spendy. So now we have all of our panels. We have all 4 of our panels. You see all 4 there. So first thing we're going to do is mount all 4 of these onto the card bases. Oh, this is the wrong way to do it. You should put it on the white. Why I started this way, I do not know. Like I said, it's early. It's about 8 a.m. And I'm only on my first cup of coffee. Usually I drink tea, but this morning I'm doing coffee. Maybe I should switch back to tea. Okay, I think it's trying to tell me we're getting close to the end. Now, where you've been embossing, you just need to put a little extra glue or some tear and tape and, you know, whoop. There we go. And the last one, our sledding penguin who cares less about the Christmas presents and wants to go sledding. You know what? I think we're going to open another bottle of glue right now, because I'm done fighting with that one. New bottle of glue. So now it's time to attach them to the base, which I've hidden. So what I usually do is lay the first one on, just like that. So you're only putting glue or tape, whichever you choose, on the first panel, and you're going right up to the fold line. Make sure you're straight at the top and bottom. And then you're going to do this one. And it doesn't matter what order they go in. I mean, it's a pinwheel card. It goes round and round, you know. It's like a never-ending card. Oh, do you just see what I did? I told you I'm not awake. Hang on. You guys have seen me make mistakes before. First rule. Grab a piece of scrap paper and get the glue off. I can't believe I just did this. Sorry about that. I'm human. So we'll get rid of that. We'll put this panel on last and let it sit. So let's do this again. We're going to put glue on here. sure it's nice and straight, right up to the corner. And this is why glue works really well for this, is because you do have a little bit of give in that. So we're gonna let that sit for a while, be the last piece we put back on. So now we're gonna put glue on this one. Make sure everybody's nice and straight. Hold that for a second. Okay, we're going to come back and put some of these panels on and let that sit for a few more minutes. These panels are going to go on the big blue piece here. Now, I hated covering up all those cute mushrooms, but couldn't be helped. One more to go after this one, but we got to fix the rest of the problem there, which is going to be pretty easy to do. Because this part is going to stick on here, and then we're going to flip this and put part of there, but we're going to have a strip in the center that still will be sticky. So you can do this two ways. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way and show you how. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my silicone mat and I'm going to lay it right there. So when I put this piece down, I am not sticking to anything. If you make a mistake, there's always a way to fix it. So the silicone mat is preventing it from sticking. So we're going to rotate it this way. We're going to go ahead and put the glue on this side. And if you excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to grab my embossing buddy, which is just across the room here. And I've showed you before you can use powder and just tap a little bit in here. And we're still a little wet here underneath, so we don't want to do too much. I didn't get any off on the side, so it's just this little strip right here. No longer sticky. Embossing buddies, these are great. This is an old one I've had for years, but let's give it a good tap. Just grab a little paper towel and wipe that off. This, an embossing buddy, can get you out of a lot of trouble. So, this is our card. I'll hold this up so you can see it. So we've got this one here, this one here, this one, and this panel. And it all stands up like that. Very cute. So no one will know there was a mistake there unless one of you tell. And I know you won't tell. So, with that being said, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. So, keep on stamping. Start working on those Christmas cards. You know, time will be running out quickly. It's almost... I'm not even going to say what date it is. I'm filming a little early and I'll get my dates all mixed up. So, thank you very much and have a good day.